So my story of homelessness kind of began when I was about 13, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and I got into some trouble, and I was sent away into the system for foster care, treatment centers, juvenile hall, and the whole works. And so I kind of like came back to my family and stuff, like all the experiences I went through, and kind of like changed me. So there was like a lot of conflict within my family and shit because we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And so it kind of worsened to a point where me and my family were fighting too bad, and we were getting kicked out the house. And now I'm on the streets struggling with the homelessness part and with my criminal history. It was hard in a small town where everybody knows your name through all the stuff that you've done, with your name blasted across the papers and whatnot. You know, people kind of generally know what, or think they know what type of person you are. And when you try to make a change, it's harder because you get frustrated because so many people just like will put you down, and you just don't feel really encouraged to do anything positive. So things kind of got worse with the use of drugs and stuff like that. Started doing dumb shit stuff to for my use or whatever I needed. What ended up changing for me is like every time I kept going back, it was for a longer sentence, and I just seen myself not coming home in years if I kept going down the road I was going. And I did eventually make my way to prison, and like I don't know, it's a whole different story, it's a whole different side, different experience, but like I feel like it bettered me. I got my GED when I was locked up, and that's how I was able to get out. But it did leave that permanent mark on my record as a convicted felon, and made it hard. But ever since then, I did learn tools inside the joint to like help me. And being away from all that, the wrong crowd, the drugs and stuff, you can have time to think and educate yourself, and just see what you're doing with your life. So when I got out, I started looking for a job instead of just trying to play the victim. And I was sent away from this, away, far away, so I didn't know anybody and stuff. A lot of these people, they didn't have the same criminal problems with me. They're more into addiction part. So like, their focus is more on drugs and stuff, and there's no rehab here, there's no treatments places, and I feel like it's hard for people to get out of the struggle when there's nothing there to help them. And if they're homeless and stuff, they don't feel encouraged to go look for a job because of the situation they're in. They don't feel comfortable because they haven't showered in a couple of days, or they don't have clean clothes, and they just, even if they do get the job, how are they supposed to bust their butt all day, get all dirty, and then come home to nothing without a shower and feel encouraged to go back to work the next day? And once you're in that circle, how do you break out of it when there's literally no help in this town, And people point out, oh, the church will give you a shower once a week. Okay, everybody knows, like, normal people, you know what I mean? You tell them to go shower once a week, they're gonna lose it, And with the food banks and everything, there's no place for them to go eat. They have like one meal a day for 4 days out of the week. And like, I don't know, what they do give out there is not like a nutritious meal. Like sometimes, yeah, it is, but at the pantry and stuff, what they're giving out is like just bread, and like no nutritional things. Usually for people, it's just hard for them to break out of a cycle when they feel like there's nowhere for them to go. And there's nothing for them to do, and they get depressed and emotional, and that encourages them to use drugs harder and stuff because that's what they do to take away that pain. It's just like a never-ending cycle. I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to get out of my homelessness situation if I didn't have friends that helped me live and find a spot. Everybody has that, so I was just like, I don't know. It's a huge problem. People are just like, you hear about it on the news, all the homelessness, and then everybody's general response is like, just go build them some shelters, it'll be alright. But yeah, it's still a huge deal, It shouldn't be like this, you know. Nobody should be hitting, like Tupac said, the lottery for 40-something million, and there's people out here homeless on the streets and stuff, you know. It doesn't add up. People that don't have good friends like I did and stuff, and people that would look out for me and stuff, like, they're forced to go stay at a trap house that is, you know what I mean, just running drugs and stuff, and like, so they're not getting away from the environment they're not supposed to be in. So it's just like a never-ending cycle. And I feel bad for those people, because I know there's way more people that were less unfortunate than me. And it was hard for me to get out of it, so I can't imagine what they would be going through too. So yeah, I'm back at my mom's and just trying to save up so I can find a new spot to try out. But I did struggle with it for years, and the most important thing for me was getting a job. Of course, spotting out money in the right way too, because you have the income and you're not doing anything right with it, you're not going to get anywhere either. But a job did keep me out of trouble. I wasn't sitting around just thinking of a bunch of dumb stuff to do. And I just feel like that's the first step for everybody, because no matter how rough it is, at least within a few weeks you'll have a paycheck and you can at least do something with it. It's a start. And I just think people need more encouragement to go out and do that, because once they get to that level, they feel good about themselves, you know, and they don't ever want to go backwards. And so, like, but if they don't reach that part and stuff, they're stuck, they feel hopeless, and it's just sad. I wish I had more ideas on how to tackle this problem, but I feel like we need people in this community, the politicians or whatever, the councils and all them, I feel like they need to step it up and realize it. Because I feel like they don't, like, if they see it, they won't recognize it, or if it doesn't have no impact on them, so it's not a problem to them, you know? But it will be, and if this town keeps going the way it does. Yeah, I think it begins with having a little bit more empathy in your heart, and not looking at people and just forgetting about them and stuff. Like, I don't know, there's a homeless guy over here up on the highway, and he's been here for months and stuff, and he was here months before I got out. And like, it's just sad seeing him and stuff, because he's just always there. It's obvious that there's something, like, he needs help mentally, you know? Like, I'm not saying that in a degrading way or anything, it's just like, his issue is with his mental health and stuff, and he needs help, but like, nobody's going to care about him, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get the medicine he needs. Everybody just passes by him every day and stuff, and like, they're not seeing the underlying problem of it. And I feel like people need to have more empathy for drug addicts or just homeless people, because like, until like it's real hard to understand addiction, especially if you've never been there yourself, you know? Like, it's real hard. It's got a grip on people like you never believe. I just say try to have more empathy in your heart, and like, if you see someone struggling, try not to judge them, you know? If you have an extra dollar, give it to them or whatnot. But try to help them, like, get a job. And if they blow it, they blow it. But at least you're there to try to help. At least you try to put that stone down for them to step on. Because if they don't have that, then some people will never get anywhere in life. And that's just how it is. Everybody needs a little help to get where they're at. Everybody. That's why kids rely on their parents and everything. They can't just get thrown out into the world with nothing.
Ready to go tubing again?
Yeah, I feel like if I got around the right people earlier on, instead of going down the wrong path that I did. And yeah, I don't know. I remember when I was in juvie, my counselor, I asked him, I was like, do you ever see me going to prison and stuff? And he told me honestly not. You're not the kid that would go and stuff. And then I remember sitting in prison, thinking back on that conversation. I'm like, oh, I wonder what he'd think right now, you know? Because I wasn't a statistic to that dude. But he said, this guy, yeah, you'll be seeing him in there. And I don't know, it's just like, those people around my time, they had a lot of influence on me, the staff. And I don't know. I was given a lot of good advice and stuff. I just never listened. I was hard-headed until I really wanted to make a difference with my life. So, say this stuff's for the birds. I'm tired of it. I've slept in bathrooms. I've done my part. I'm not trying to compare whose story is worse and worse, but I got out of it, so I feel like anybody can. And I just want people to feel encouraged and not to ever give up. That's what I want. I don't want people giving up and falling into addiction and overdosing and they're gone. Or killing themselves because you can't fucking deal with it no more, So I just don't want people to give up, and it's a fight we can win if we all stay together through it.